Welcome back to another episode of the Shit Stick of Life podcast. I'm Kortney Wilson. Let's get into it. Today, I'm joined by two people who on the surface have lived very big public lives. Amy Sheppard is one of the founding members of the Australian pop group Sheppard, best known for their global hit Geronimo. The band has toured the world, played massive stages, and Amy's voice has been at the center of it all. More recently, she stepped into a new chapter as a solo artist, writing and performing music that's deeply personal, honest, and powerful. Her husband, my dear friend Lachlan Stuart, has his own incredible story. He was once a professional rugby player, and he has built a career as a high-performance coach, podcaster, and motivational speaker. Just last year, he ran 58 marathons in 58 days. Yes, I said that correctly. You heard it correctly. A challenge that tested every ounce of his endurance, both physically and mentally. Together, they built a life that looks unstoppable, full of creativity, grit, and passion. They're the kind of couple people look at and think, man, they must have it all figured out. But what people don't always see is what happens behind closed doors. Amy and Lachlan have been walking through something that isn't so glamorous, isn't public, and isn't easy. Something that, according to research, 1 in 4 couples struggle with: infertility. Y'all, I am so happy, though, today that they have agreed to discuss all of this with me. Lachlan and Amy, welcome to the Shit Stick of Life podcast.
Hi, Kortney. We're so glad to be here.
I'm always energized when I hear you speak. I'm just sitting here smiling for this intro. I'm pumped.
Well, y'all, I'm so happy. You guys are in Australia right now. It's nighttime for me. It's morning time for you. And before we even started, we were starting to catch up because I wanted to before we get into the nitty-gritty of your story that I know everybody's going to want to hear, I want to get into how we know each other. Is that all right?
How crazy is it? You became like one of our closest friends so quickly as well. We were so fortunate. We all met at a dinner of all things. And
when we moved to Nashville, we had this rule where for the whole year we were just going to say yes to everything. So even if we were tired, we didn't want to go to the event, we were going to go because we needed to meet people. We really wanted to network and just experience all that Nashville had to offer. So this was one of those days, one of those nights where we were
a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, a few years ago. Yeah. A couple years ago. And
it's gone so fast.
I know, I cannot even believe it. But
I know.
we got invited to this Canadian Thanksgiving.
Canadian Thanksgiving in Nashville.
And we're like, what is this?
And we're the Aussies, like rolling in.
And it was just a random invite for us through somebody that Lachie had trained in Australia. So it was such a just random invite. I think we were really tired. George was sick or like getting over sickness or hungover.
We'd been doing a lot. We'd been making the most of Broadway in Nashville.
So my perspective is that I also went to this Canadian Thanksgiving hosted by 2 Canadians in Nashville. They do it every year. And they sort of have what's called an in the round. For those of you who aren't in music, and in the round is when people, pass a guitar, instruments around. And it was sort of a makeshift version of that after we all ate. Long tables at a restaurant in Nashville, like a private party. And so my friend at the time, Brett, was hosting, and Brett Kissel gets up and he plays a song and he's like, listen, somebody who I know met this band on an airplane a couple of days ago and invited them to the Canadian Thanksgiving. And we always say you have to have a Canadian passport or you have to know somebody who has a Canadian passport, and they're here from Australia. They just moved to Nashville and they're going to play a little tune. At this point, Brett does not know who you are. Nobody knows who you are at the table, right? No. So the 3 of you get up, and by 3 of you, Amy's sister Emma, and Amy's brother George. And so they get up, and they play a little ditty.
We're like, we'll just hit him with the
big guns. Say Geronimo, say Geronimo. Okay, so everyone knows this dang song. I'm certainly not going to do it justice, especially while Amy's listening. But my friend Brett goes, well, Jesus, oh my God, we all know you. And so everyone at the table is now singing along Well, anyway, at some point I met you that night, and my husband Ryan, I don't even know if he was my husband at the time, maybe just barely, probably that year.
One of the greats.
Yeah, one of the
We love
greats was
Ryan.
like, oh my God, they seem so sweet. We should have them over. And I was like, absolutely. So we invited you over, and I can't remember who got the text, but one of you was like, well, if you invite one of us, you get 6.
Yeah,
because we're
it's a
all
6 for
married.
1.
Just so you know.
So all 6 of you came over, and we always laugh because Canadians are always early or on time, and Americans are always late. And you showed up early like a Canadian would, like 5 or 10 minutes early. And Ryan was getting in the shower. I was like, dude, they're here. Anyway, that was the beginning of what I know will be a lifetime friendship with y'all, because we love you so much. We've been to, your sister's wedding and in Mexico. I mean, anyway, that's how we met. So I'm so glad you said yes.
I know, and thank you for being so welcoming to us when we moved to Nashville. Like, we love you guys. We felt a part of the family. We miss you guys so much as well.
I miss you too. We've done some fun stuff. We've been on drag buses together. We've
Oh my God.
We're gonna get into some other stuff. Okay, so now that we know how we met, how did you all meet?
Whose story did you want? We'll give you Amy's story. I'll allow Amy to take it from here.
So we met the old-fashioned way, just in a club, a bar. In Brisbane, and I was going out with my friend. I feel like all the best things happen when you don't really plan or you don't want to go. So I didn't want to go out, but my friend was seeing this guy, and she's like, I really need a wing gal. Will you please come? I was like, oh, my hair's dirty. Like, whatever. I'll just put my hair in the top knot and let's go.
What year is this?
This is
end of 2013.
Yeah.
Okay.
2013. So
12 years ago.
Yeah, before Geronimo was out. We had a single in Australia, but like people, I wasn't anybody. And I did have blue hair.
You were somebody, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. And anyway, we went out and my friend was seeing this guy, and his friend, wasn't Lachie, came up and started talking to me, and I could see like he bought me a drink and he was interested, and I just wasn't. And then Lachie came over to be, his wingman. And I was like, this guy
is too good at my wingman duties.
And we got along
you
really
stole
well.
the girl. Are you still friends with this guy?
I swear I'm a better man now.
Yeah, so we got along really well, and we were like just hanging out all night, like nothing crazy. And then we were all dancing, and it was nearly time for lockout, so where the bars all closed. And I was like, is this guy going to kiss me or what? I'm just like, I'm kind of bored here. And so, and then,
how horrible is that?
Yeah, I was like,
I don't know.
What I want.
I mean, she's kind of like the vixen here, and I like it. She's like always like quiet, perfect little Amy. She's so sweet. I like this.
And then bam.
Yeah, and then I had like my clutch handbag, and I was like, oh, I've just got to tie my shoelace on my high heels. Like, can you hold this bag? And then he grabbed the bag to hold it, and then I pulled him in and kissed him.
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
I love this.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And then,
oh my gosh, I love this.
And then she wouldn't take my number for some weird reason.
Well, because once we all get kicked out of the bar, we went to this place called Pie Face, and they serve like meat pies. So in Australia, it's all meat pies. We don't have sweet pies here. And so we were eating this like late night feed, and we have these things called sausage rolls, where it's like
wow,
meat in pastry, like
meat
it's
in
weird.
pastry, and it's like just like the grubbiest Australian food.
It's delicious.
It's quite the
You'll
date
try
night.
them.
Meat pies and sausage rolls.
Yeah, so we were sort of having this like late night feed, and then for some reason I look over and Lockie's in this sausage roll fight with some random guy on the street. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to be in a brawl here with this guy. Like, it's time to go home. So I ended up just grabbing my friend, and we got into a cab, and we were like, bye. And then I don't remember rejecting Lockie's number.
Well, clearly you're going to give a number out. I do remember, as intoxicated as I was, and I was 22, hence why I was having a pie fight. Would never do that now. Would eat the pie.
No wasting the pie.
Yeah, no wasting the pie. But I
you
tried
do
giving
recall asking for the number.
No, I remember giving it to her because I gave it on a piece of paper from Pie Fight on the serviette.
Oh.
And she wouldn't take it, so I gave it to her friend, and her friend was kind enough to take it and gave it to Amy when she was sober the next morning and realized she just had to text me.
Yeah. So I texted him, and it's so weird. Like I wasn't even going to text you, and then I think I was just bored. And I was like, I wondered if you got home, and because I knew that you were from Toowoomba.
I live 2 hours away at this time too.
Yeah, 2 hours away from the city, and
So
yeah.
you were checking in on him. So it wasn't necessarily love at first sight, but there was something there.
Yeah. I hoped that he got home and that he didn't die in the pie fight. So I was just checking in, and then
Did you immediately like see each other again?
Maybe a couple of weeks after. No, we got the best second date story. Sorry, this is long-winded. So it was always an effort for me to drive to Brisbane because it's about 2 hours away. And when you're working, you've got things on. But there was a rugby union match on. And I love rugby. Amy does not. But I said, come to the footy with me. This can be a date. And Amy's like, okay. Anyway,
Great sports.
She rocks up to the football stadium, and I've got like 10 of my mates.
It's like me, and thank God one of my friends was there, but it was like me and then 10 of Lachie's friends and like maybe one of his ex-girlfriends. I was just
my God.
This is hell.
Epic fail.
I still remember, and I can remember this so vividly. We went to the Caxton Street pub straight after the game, which is where it's just probably like your college football. There's like the things to do. And Amy had gone away to get some drinks, and there's a flight of stairs. Do you remember this?
I wish I did.
And I'm talking to the boys about Amy, and as I look over, Amy's walking with a tray of drinks and just slips ass up and just goes down the stairs. And I was just immediately like,
yeah,
I did not see that.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, I've never seen this guy again.
But anyhow, we started low and things have gotten better.
Yeah, literally low.
Yeah, our dates have gotten better, and here we are.
So you guys, you've been dating now. Were you already playing professional rugby, Lachie?
I just moved back. So I was living over in France and playing. And I'd moved back, and I was sort of in the period of my life that most people wouldn't want to date me, and so
Gotcha.
Amy's sort of ridden that journey with me. We've had some fun experiences over that first maybe 2 years.
I just had a quick memory about our third date, and I ran off the back of you.
Oh yeah,
I crashed my car into his car. Because I was on the phone.
Oh my God. How are you still together? I don't understand this.
I don't know. We threw all the challenges at the beginning, but I think
it was meant to be for sure. If you guys have, you got through those first 3 days.
The embarrassment out of the way. Yeah.
I think for me because I had finished rugby, I was just trying to figure out what was next. So for me, Amy as well was a fresh start in terms of like I could make new friends and maybe live in a different place again, because where I wasn't the best for me. Like I was drinking a lot, partying a lot, not being a good dude. And so I would drive down to Brisbane like 2 or 3 nights a week. And I was working as a builder, like a carpenter. Mm-hmm. So I'd finish work at like 4, drive to see Amy, get there at 6, hang out, and then I'd get up at 3 and drive back. And I do that a couple of nights a week, which is like, pat myself on the back for that. That's commitment.
Lachie, you know what's so interesting is Ryan did the same thing. Our stories are very similar. Like when I met him, he was 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away from me. And he would drive in every night to see me after I was filming and then drive back home and work a construction job the next day. This is I don't know how we've never known this about each other, but that's kind of crazy.
This is why Ryan and I get along so bloody well.
Maybe
as well.
Maybe so. So, okay. So you've been together you actually didn't get married until what, 2023?
2021. So we've been married 4 years.
2021.
4 years in 3 days.
Yeah, our anniversary's coming up.
Okay. So you're married before us. Sorry, I don't know why I thought it was 2023, the same year as us. So it took a few years before you guys ended up getting married. At what point did y'all start talking about what your future looked like, including what family looked like?
I think it must have been pretty early on, like within a year or year and a half.
Year and a half too. I would say.
It took Lachie around 7 years to propose.
Yeah, I was just always worried because one thing dynamic to our relationship, Amy always had out-earned me. And as a bloke, like I wanted to be the provider, so I didn't feel like I was good enough to propose until I sorted that part of my life out, which is why it took me so long.
Yeah.
And then when I was in
Okay,
a
and I'm
good
going to pause
position,
right here for a second because all you women out here listening who have a husband in the other room, just pull him into this like if you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple, whatever, bring them in right now because Lachlan is one of those guys that I feel like more men, more husbands should listen to because he's so honest and transparent, even already, 10, 15 minutes into this interview. So, okay, my apologies. Proceed.
no worries at all. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, for me, I guess I had this checklist in my mind that I thought I needed to do because if initially when I realized Amy was one more successful than me in so many different facets, it made me want to be better rather than being like, oh, I can just kick back. It just inspired me to realize like there's so many things I can work on and I want to actually bring something to the relationship.
Table.
So that's what I sort of focused on. And I don't think I really got there. I still remember the day that I decided I was going to propose. I was walking out of a meeting and I'd crossed the road and I was like, it just popped in halfway through crossing the road. I was like, I'm going to call my mate who made our ring and get that ball rolling because I feel like I felt good enough, which is, even though I never
Okay, so but
acted like I
this
wasn't.
yeah, but this comes obviously from an insecurity. Amy, were you aware of this insecurity in your relationship?
No, like all I could see was like Lachie was bettering himself every day. And that's what really
Yeah.
made me fall in love with this guy was because he made an effort. Like he'd move mountains for me and
Yeah.
I could see that he was on the trajectory to a better life and like we were building it together. But I didn't really think that that's the reason why it took so long to propose. Obviously, I knew that you were going to get me a good ring, so I thought you were safe.
Well, I think there's
Okay.
some part, had I been like, I'm not going to propose until I feel good enough or until I am financially in a position, that's just also like a cop out. But I think for me, I have these like quiet goals that people don't need to know about, but they're important to me. And that's what was important to me because I don't think I was I was very moody because I used to drink a lot of booze and whatnot. And like, I was still trying to change my relationship with alcohol as well for heaps of reasons. So there'd be times where I still remember Amy's like, I just don't know what's going on with you. Like 1 minute you're the best thing ever. And then now it's just like, I don't think you even want to be with me. And it was never that I didn't want to not be with you. It was just, I was like, if I drink booze, man, I'm just like polar opposites.
So, Amy, at any point, like, because I think women do this a lot, and I'm not projecting this on you, by the way, but I think women do this a lot where we have this like internal biological clock. Were you ever feeling like that? Like, hey, time's of the essence here. I want to start a family. Or was that not on your radar? I mean, you were at this point a massive pop star or on your road to that. So, may not have been
for
on your radar.
sure. Like that's something that goes through nearly every woman's mind if you want kids.
Yeah.
But there was no huge rush. Like I never wanted to like get married, be the person who get married and like have a kid within a year. Like I wanted to take our time and like enjoy married life for a bit. And so that's probably where the pressure came from because I did want that time as a married couple. I did want him to like propose a bit sooner because it takes time to plan a wedding and then it takes time to enjoy that married time. And then by the time you have kids, it could be a couple of years later. So that was definitely on my mind. Yeah.
So you get married in 2021 and, you moved to Nashville shortly thereafter, a couple of years later, right? So you're still not at this point. Were you trying to have a baby, or were you kind of just like, was it just sort of in the background?
Yes. Yeah, we had started. So I was 30. I was 31 when we got married. Moved to Nashville when I was 33.
Yeah, just 18 months after that.
Yeah, so we probably started trying within like the year when I was 32. And then moved to Nashville when I was 33. So it had already been sort of like a year since trying. We moved to Nashville and I was like, okay, well, I did start talking to the doctor and they said, well, if it doesn't happen after 6 months, like call us back. And that 6 months passed. And so, yeah, I gave them another call and That's when I was in Nashville, and that added complexity to the situation, like being far away
Well,
from home, being far away from
insurance
doctors.
too, like
That's
insurance
horrible, yeah.
in the US. And we had some conversations. I mean, I'm sitting in my podcast room, and the room right over to my right, I remember laying on that couch with you and your sisters, or your sister and somebody else was there. And we were talking about having a baby and having a baby in America, and what does that look like? And what if there's a problem, and like insurance. So at that point, even though I didn't know, yeah, it was already on your radar and you were already trying. But was it like more, was it private? Like, did you guys make a deliberate effort to be like, hey, we're doing this? Or was it just kind of like, if it happens and then all of a sudden it doesn't happen, then it becomes a bit of an issue?
Yeah. No, it was private for sure, because you want to surprise everyone, like your family and your
Yeah.
friends, with the news, and then when it doesn't happen, you're like, oh, you're still working it out. You're like, I don't know whether this is a quick fix. Like maybe I've got I don't know, a blood
Yeah.
tube or something that
We
we can
did
fix.
all
Yeah.
the tests, like every test you could think of.
Ah.
We
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, so we were diagnosed with unexplained infertility, which is a fun one because I mean it's a relief that there was nothing wrong,
Major.
and
Yeah.
nothing major. And this was in like I was getting these tests in between like coming back to Australia and living in Nashville, because I
Yeah.
didn't have health insurance.
Right.
And so they come back and they say, well, at this point it's unexplained infertility because you're both healthy, everything's looking good. We can't work out why. So yeah, that is such a frustrating diagnosis because you don't know what to fix. I'm usually such a hustler in so many ways, and like this is the one thing that I just couldn't out hustle.
And it gets challenging because obviously with the band, then we had to start, because we were feeling pressure and we were like, oh, maybe we need to go back to Australia for a bit. Then because everyone had packed up their lives, like 6 of us to move over there, then we're like, oh, well, how's this going to impact everyone else? So it almost adds another layer of pressure because we'd moved over there for the band to chase the dream. But then we're also like, well, the clock that you speak about is ticking and we're stressing. So
Well, it's not, and it's a clock, but it also feels like it's exasperated these days. Like you just mentioned, you want to surprise your families, which of course is something that I think we've probably always had. But now that we have social media, I can't turn on my feed without seeing a baby reveal, or a video, surprising the family, or heck, surprising them, with twins at the, at the hospital. Like there are so many quote unquote trends that are in your face all day long, every day. Was that an added pressure for you, or was that just sort of like out of sight, out of mind? I'm not going to worry about that.
Just in terms of, the pressure of seeing everyone around me fall pregnant. Yes, that was a pressure and heartbreaking because you're so happy, especially the people that I knew, like you're so happy for them and you want to celebrate. But then at the same time, like it's heartbreaking because you're going through your own struggle, and also like seeing your favorite baby names disappear from the list is something that I've really struggled with as well.
Oh man, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, that was a big one for me, which I didn't really expect, I guess.
I've only just learned about that too. I'm watching them get crossed off the list now and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
hard one.
Yeah, because it's an innocent thing. Somebody's naming their baby, the name gets announced, and you're
dreamed
like,
of, yeah.
dang, oh my God, that was going to be my firstborn, or,
Yeah.
my baby. What were some of the other things that were hard? Because I know you said you're obviously happy for people, especially your friends who are in that stage of life. And I'm asking Amy, but we're going to get to Lachie here in a second, because it's way more pressure, I feel like, for the women in the beginning when they're dealing with their body and their emotions.
Yeah.
So what were some of the other things or triggers? Because I know that there are going to be a lot of people that listen to this, and I've also learned so much through your social channels over the last little while as you've been covering some of this.
There's a lot of shame attached to infertility, and so for a long time I did keep it secret. I didn't tell my family because of the pressure of the move and like how am I going to bring it up and what do I say. And it is kind of embarrassing. Like you don't want to talk to your father about sperm count or like all those personal things. But when I finally did share, I decided to share it on my Instagram page. After obviously I spoke to my family about it, and then I was like, I just was still feeling a weight and like tiptoeing around certain things, like why I couldn't make things or why I was leaving Nashville but the others were staying. Like it just became all too much for me to conceal. And so many couples go through this. I thought, it would be a relief for me to like meet these other couples that are going through it, but it'd also be helpful for them, I'm sure, if I was to share part of my journey. So I decided to share it, and there was just overwhelming support. And I think that really helped us through some dark times, just connecting with other people who are experiencing it. But on the flip side, then you get people, and this was like triggering for me, people like trying to fix you, people who aren't doctors sending you articles, people who are just saying, oh, it's because she has blue hair, or like,
oh my
you're
gosh,
using fake tan and like,
it gotta be the blue hair.
Why didn't I think of that? Like, or just like, try this diet, try that doctor. Have you seen this? Me and my husband tried like
banana peels on our feet.
Yeah, what's the
oh my god,
different types of therapies and like all this stuff. So I found
but
that
what?
really irritating.
I may have even been guilty of this, because like I have had people, I didn't have a struggle with infertility, and I did experience a lot of couples struggling with infertility when we were adopting our baby. And I think I shared this story, but when we were adopting Lennox, there were all these families who had struggled for years. I mean, one of them I think was 12 years, and they got pregnant as soon as they were matched with a baby. And I remember, so I've often shared that story thinking, oh, it might be helpful, and in retrospect, now I feel like I would hold my tongue, because I might be putting more pressure on them.
Yeah, but I
And so I
don't
think
like
it is.
it's not really like you sharing that story wasn't like a suggestion that we should just stop trying, or like, that we should, I didn't take it that way, because like you're my friend and I we're just having a normal conversation. But it's mostly when it's strangers from the internet sending you suggestions, and sometimes it can be friends saying insensitive things like, have you ever thought of adoption? Like that one was a big one. And it's like adoption's a beautiful path for some people, but it shouldn't be just the default because you can't have a baby that you're like, oh,
That's right.
There's so many reasons why adoption's its own thing.
Right. Well, and I'm only saying this because I think that, there's so much to be learned, especially when there's a statistic of like 1 in 4 people in their 30s trying to have babies is struggling with some sort of infertility. That's an astonishing number that we may not have known before the internet and before social media.
Chances are that you know somebody going
that's
through
right.
infertility, and they might just not be telling you.
And they might be going through it silently because they don't want to deal with hey, haven't you just thought of adoption, or haven't you thought of this, or hey,
just
are you
stop trying, or just relax, go on a holiday and get drunk.
Yeah, Lachie, don't wear tight underwear and don't go in a hot tub.
I don't wear any underwear. Come on.
Okay, so while you guys are going through this silently, Lachie, how are you from the man's point of view, dealing with the emotional part for yourself and now for your wife and partner?
For me, it was challenging because once again, I'm like a fixer. I love to fix problems. If there's a problem, fix it. And this was something that there was no control over. We did all the tests, and I think an important thing is it's not always quite often everyone's like, it's a woman's body. It's, that's why it's not happening, when men are 50% of the problem, right? So I did all my tests as well. Men
actually are more than 50% of the problem in most cases. So the fact that they're only 50% of the problem in this case, I'm going to call this a win for y'all.
That's a win. I'll take that. But so we did all the tests, and once again, there's like, I can't do anything. So then every month, because it turns into a chore almost, where you're like on the clock, you're tracking everything, you're doing everything right, you're eating well. And it made me realize it doesn't matter. If I'd have told my younger self that I had to earn this much money and be in this position before I proposed to Amy, I would have realized that none of it matters anyway. It's all made up in your head, because as you said in the beginning, our life's pretty awesome. And the one thing that we really wanted, we had no control over. So then every month when Amy would do the test, and then you just see a heartbreak again, and I'm like, you can't do or say anything. Like, you can be there, But as a man, it's like I can't say anything because I don't know. Like Amy, I didn't really hear it as well until Amy released her song, Blue and Pink Confetti, like how she actually felt. And we're pretty good communicators, but she never told me some of the stuff in that song. So when I heard it, I was just like, someone stabbing you in the chest.
Yeah. Amy, tell us
And
about that song that you wrote so that people have a
so
reference.
I've always been better at explaining myself through song rather than like words, and public speaking is not really my thing, but or even just like being able to articulate myself in one talking session can be hard for me. So I like to write, like I'm a writer, and so I started writing the song Blue and Pink Confetti. I started it in Nashville. I just had like the little chorus, and then when I got back and started my infertility treatment. So I was on IVF, and I think some of those hormones helped write this song, for sure. And it was just, it's the most vulnerable personal song that I've ever written, and it's just all about how I feel going through this experience.
And there's one line where she's like, "It's the job that a woman's supposed to do," and I'm like, "Ouch."
Yeah.
Because it's like I keep on trying harder to do what a woman's supposed to do. So it's like, it just.
And see, I could never relate to that because for me, I'm like, it will be what it will be. Obviously, I want a kid for sure. And then, but it's just more like making sure Amy got what she wanted. It was more important. And then there was nothing that I could do. You're like, well, what do I even do? Like, just feel stuck.
Yeah, well, and the more that she wants it, the more that you want it for her. And I do think that like a lot of men out there, they don't necessarily, there are some men out there, by the way, that absolutely want to be fathers and have to be fathers and parents. But I think for a larger number of men, they don't have that connection necessarily to parenthood or to that biological thing until they're actually holding the baby. Hey everyone, Court here, and something you may not know about me is I am a real estate agent in Nashville, Tennessee. But wherever you're moving, anywhere in the world, and yes, I did say the world, I have built a trusted network of realtors that I would love to connect with you. So no matter where you live, reach out to me and I'll do just that. Even for, when a woman gets pregnant, they immediately feel like a mother. They're responsible for something. And I remember in my situation, my, the father of my children didn't feel like a father until the day that he actually held the baby. So there is an emotional like disconnect to the biological part, but you are so in tune with your wife. So, okay, Amy, both of you decide to be a little bit more public. At this point, are you already doing infertility treatments?
Yes. Yeah, we had started.
We started before we went to Mexico. Like, so even at the wedding, we'd done our first transfer.
Yeah.
Our first egg retrieval.
Retrieval.
Yeah.
Which is a
and we were all cheering you on and we were all so excited. And you were hopeful.
I was hopeful. My first egg retrieval didn't go to plan, which is so devastating because you spend all this time and money and effort, and it's heartbreaking when I woke up. The morning of my egg retrieval, I was in so much pain. Like obviously my tummy was swollen, and but I knew that something wasn't right. Like I was healed over, and I was I was crying because I was in so much pain. And so when I got to the hospital, they were like, my doctor said, does it feel like ovulation pain? And I was like, what does that feel like? I don't think I can feel myself ovulating. And she's like, anyway, I'm going to get you in there. And they literally within 2 minutes, I was in the theater. And when I woke up.
In the theater? What is the theater is like the hospital room?
Yeah, surgery room.
Surgery room.
Okay, surgery room. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And when I woke up, my doctor was there, and often the doctor won't be there when you wake up. Like they'll just like write the number of eggs on your hand, or like the nurse will tell you how many eggs. But yeah, my doctor was there and she was holding my hand. She goes, "Oh, I just wanted to let you know that you had started ovulating before we got in the room," which is not great because it means that the follicles have burst and you've lost those eggs. So I had something like 17 ready to collect, and she got 5. Thank God she got 5. She's like, I was in there, I could see them bursting as I was trying to get them. And so I was devastated at that because I knew that once you try and fertilize them, or you have to see how many are mature, and then you got to go through the fertilization process and so many die off. So she was like, she said, I think you'll get one, or if you're very lucky, two. And so let's be hopeful for that. And I was just like, so devastated at that, because then you've
rolling your eyes at the doctor like, I'm not hopeful. I'm like, this is
I was obviously very
one more thing not going the way that it was supposed to.
And we knew as well then we had like 4 or 5 months before we could do the next round, because I was doing the runs and Amy's on tour. So, and that's the other challenging thing, is because we weren't based in any one place, it had to be like the perfect timing, and it has to link up with your cycle. And so depending on whether we were touring or traveling, there was like very small windows, unless we said to the band, like, we're not touring or doing anything. So there was a lot of pressure on that.
Yeah, so we ended up getting one embryo. We put it on ice. We went on tour. We did Mexico for the wedding. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just that lingering stress and sadness over you that whole time. Like, we did so. It's amazing how you can hold like sadness and happiness in the same. I
mean, I partied with you at that wedding, and I didn't, know that you were struggling like this. And I think that there, we have to acknowledge that, because you did put on a good face for your family. And I'm sure that two things can be true at one time. You were so excited and so happy to be in Mexico celebrating, and also this is always in the back of your mind.
Yeah, like that boat day, everyone was like letting it rip, but I actually didn't even drink on that boat day, because I was like, obviously I'm going to be doing a transfer when I get home, so I got to take care of my body. And like, that was, very, very difficult for me, because it was my sister's wedding. I wanted to make sure I was there for her as well and having a good time. Yeah. I'm glad that you couldn't tell. And
no, I couldn't. And during this whole process, because you both process differently, even though, Lachie, you've said that you wanted this for her even more than you wanted it for yourself. And that's obviously the goal here. But did it bring you together, closer together? Or were there moments where you did find like it was tearing you apart? Maybe that's too strong a phrase, but.
No. I feel for us, it made us stronger. We've been very good at talking. Like Amy, since day one, has called me out of my crap. So because of that, it's made me very aware of, because what I used to find is like Amy would be like, no, there's no problem. And that's fine. And then I'd find out there was. She just didn't want to say anything, or she expected me to know. And I never really knew. But over the years, as she's done that and we've spoken about it, or she's called me out for doing something stupid, I now am very able to read her. And so
what was one of those things, if you don't mind me asking? Maybe there's another, partner out there listening, but was there something that she did call you out on that was transformative for you during this process?
This specific one, or just over the last 12 years? Because I got one. That...
No, I think, specifically, during the infertility process.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think by the time we were at the infertility, I was already very clued on. Like, I just made sure, as I said, like there was nothing I could ever say. So I knew that I couldn't try and fix it for her. I couldn't try and tell her what to think or how she should feel. Whereas maybe a number of years ago, I would have been like, oh, it's okay. Like, there's next time and all. Whereas I never once said that, because that's just as helpful as someone else offering their opinion that's not warranted. I just made sure that I was there whenever she needed, and that if she wanted to talk, I would listen. And I'm not going to, I bit my tongue, because I don't know what it's like to be her, and to have all the hormones jabbed in and everything that she went through. So I just made sure that I was there and listening as much as I wanted to try and give the motivational speech and look on the bright side of things. I didn't say a single thing. I was just...
But just being there is so helpful, and like every appointment Lachie was there, and he would do the injections as well. So that was...
How many rounds did you do?
Needles make me sick.
Really? Oh, me too.
I hate them.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
How many rounds of IVF did you have to go through? Or have you gone through?
2. Yeah.
2.
Yep.
So on the, on the flip side, like a lot of people would say that's, if you're going through IVF, people might be like, oh, well, that's not so bad. Like that's fine. I had a second egg retrieval, and so the first embryo failed, unfortunately, when I got back from Mexico.
I want to share the story, because I think it's like there's too many things that lined up. So I was running the 58 marathons and Amy was going on tour. She was back in Australia, did the egg transfer. She was meant to do it in January when I started the run. I got a phone call that night and she was like, oh, there was a mix up in dates, like not happening. And I was like, okay, fine. And then the next day she's like, it's happening on the 21st of February. And so the 21st of February is a very significant date because it's my birthday, the most important day of the world, right? One of those days. Anyway, so I thought, okay, if the transfer's on that day, that's really good luck. And that's what we
like it was a sign, it was energy.
Yeah,
I actually was with I feel like I was with Liam and Emma at dinner. Your sister and brother-in-law. And we were having dinner with them and they were saying, we feel really good about it because it's Lachie's birthday or Lachie's. Yeah. So everyone's feeling like it's a sign.
It's a sign indeed. And so we used that, like, because we were apart this whole time as well. And it was the first appointment that I had missed. Amy went and did the implantation herself, which sucked not being there for. And that was horrible for me. I feel
you were on FaceTime. So.
Yeah, I was there on FaceTime, but you still want to be there for those things. Anyway, the 21st rolls around. She did the implementation. And then the next day, Amy's like, oh my gosh. Like the date that we got to check whether we're pregnant or not is the 3rd of March. And the 3rd of March is also another crazy date because it was literally the only time where I was going through Albuquerque in America and about to head back to Australia, and Amy was going through Albuquerque in America and starting tour, and it just linked up.
I remember that, yeah.
And so we were like, there's two things that have, like, could not have possibly happened. Like, we'd not planned for it, and it's just by luck happening. So we're like, this is good luck.
So you're together and you're going to do the test together.
Yes.
Yep. So in Albuquerque, and we hadn't seen each other for 60 days or something because I'd been away and Amy was back in Australia. And then I'll let Amy take the story from there.
Yeah, so we saw each other for one night, and then we were like, okay, we're going to test in the morning. And it's hard to tell because when you have the implantation, you just don't really feel different at all. There's not really any signs. It's just too early. And so, I was like, I just don't know either way. And then, we tested and it was negative. We took another test and it was negative. So we were pretty sure that it hadn't worked. So that was devastating because that morning, straight after we took the test, we sort of just had to a few tears, hugs, and then we had to pack up and leave and go our separate ways for another month. So that was very, very hard because I just wanted to get into that bed and stay there for the next month with Lachie.
And you couldn't. I mean, that's life. And that's, and in addition to all of the things that a lot of couples have to deal with, you guys have careers that take you apart from one another, making it, increasingly harder to make a baby. So, there's that. Now, y'all have carried so much damn pain in this story. But you're also carrying something else right now, correct?
Yes, I'm carrying a 20-week-old baby.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness. That's a bump.
Crazy.
If I ever saw a bump, I love it.
I know. Look, I'm tearing up just talking about it.
Oh, I was so happy when you guys sent us that video. Ryan and I, that video a bit ago, I cried for you.
Do you know how hard I was trying to FaceTime you? I just knew you would be the best call, and we tried FaceTime, and then Ryan's like, oh, Kort's out. I'm like, without trying to sound real weird, I'm like, can you let us know when you're together?
Oh my God. I was just, okay. So now I got it. People have to know. So you've gone through infertility twice. It hasn't worked. You've done the test. You've had these negative results. I know you videoed it because, hello, you got to have the payoff when you actually do get pregnant. So when and how, how did this happen?
So, we had another egg retrieval and it went a lot better. Still like wasn't as good as I was hoping. And I don't have low egg reserve, so I don't know. Anyway, it just depends on how your body responds to the hormones and stuff. But we ended up getting
5.
5.
Yep.
So and then we did the transfer, and the first one worked. So
do you only transfer one at a time? Like I know some people can transfer more because they may.
In America, you can transfer. In Australia, it's illegal.
Multiples.
You can only you only allowed to do one.
Yeah, because it's.
I didn't know that.
I think so. I'm not sure if it's totally legal, but they usually just transfer one here because just twins are harder on the body, and it's just not really. They don't believe that it's a good idea.
Okay.
Whereas in America,
that's
I think
fair.
sometimes they transfer 2 or 3 to see if maybe one will stick, so you don't have to do as many transfers. But then often that obviously you're running the risk of having multiples, which is, a complicated birth.
Okay, so take me to the moment when you guys find out. Are you together?
So again, it wasn't like the dream that we had hoped and expected, like the dream surprise. And we actually didn't film it because, so you had the transfer and then you wait 2 weeks, which is like the longest 2 weeks ever.
Yeah.
And you're symptom checking. You're like, oh, do my boobs hurt? No. Like, yeah.
I was checking.
Any little niggle, you're like, oh, and anyway, it wasn't really feeling too different. And then, so I had a blood test this time because that's the way you're meant to check. Because I was away last time, I did just like the pee on the stick test. But blood test is more accurate, and they test for your HCG levels. And so, a pass is 25, but you really want it to be at 100. That means it's like pretty.
It's locked in. Like
locked in.
Yeah. It's a viable pregnancy.
Yeah, you
Ours
forgot ones
back. Oh,
where you were spotting the morning before.
Yeah, no, that's still to come.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so and so ours came back at a 30. So we were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then
so you're still like you're waiting for this moment. You're finally pregnant, but it's still like, oh my gosh, so why can't it just be all the way?
Yeah, give us a green light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that can mean like an ectopic pregnancy, which would be awful. Or it could mean a chemical pregnancy. So they were like, so, we're going to check. The lady on the other end, the nurse on the other end of the phone is like very sympathetic, and, it's not an exciting moment. So she's like, we're going to check in another. Yeah. We're going to check in another 2 days.
I still remember walking out of the office. So when you guys come over and visit, you'll see like there's a communal office, which is the Sheppard studio, and everyone's sitting outside waiting. And we've just like rolled out and like, yeah, we're pregnant, but it was like the most unexciting release of all time. And
and so you had to wait another 2 days, and then you go and get another blood test. And what they're looking for is a doubling of numbers. So if we got 60, it was good.
Okay.
And so I had my blood test in the morning, and then I started like cramping and spotting. And so I was like, oh my God, like I'm getting my period. I guess that's our answer. Like called the clinic, and they're like, look, we just don't know at the stage. We have to wait for the blood test because, it's probably not a great sign, but you never know.
Right.
And so, I was sort of moping around all day. And
you also have like 3 years of disappointment, so you're sort of really backing that up.
Yeah. So I was certain that I wasn't pregnant, and then they called us again. Lachie and I went into the office, weren't filming it because we were expecting bad news, and she's like, good news, you're the nurses are they're not
trained to get you pumped, like
they must be trained to be neutral.
I was like, she's like, it's 120. So we hadn't just doubled Court. We had
you tripled, or
we'd blown it out of the water. Like, if that was Super Bowls, we would have won by like 40 points. Like, you'd be cheering.
Yeah, so
you're like trying to get her pumped up. You're like, wait, aren't we supposed to be excited for this? Aren't we excited?
I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, so it was such a weird experience. It wasn't like, I guess, the way everybody finds out they're pregnant. And then we came out of the office and told everyone that it had worked, but I was still cautious because I was still spotting and I just
Yeah.
didn't know what that meant. But I guess it was just like implantation bleeding. Which is weird. But just so, I wanted to share that because it's such a common side effect that can really freak out people or women.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people think that they're going to have again this moment. We live our lives through thumbnails these days, where we see the highlight reel for everybody. And then here you're in this situation where the moment that you actually found out you were pregnant the first time, you're walking in like not even like sort of tentatively excited, like, okay, this is probably not going to work.
Yeah.
And anyway, okay, so we have a little Aquarian on our hands, right, in the future?
Yeah, due date's February 22nd. So I think that's
Okay.
There's a Pisces.
Yeah,
day
or is
after my
it
birthday.
Pisces? Okay. Well, it depends
Pisces
when he or she
legend.
comes. Do you know the
You're
sex of the baby?
Yep.
No, we don't. We're keeping
you're
it a
not gonna
surprise
find
because
out.
that's going to be our surprise.
I
We're
love
not
that.
going to find out. Yeah.
I
We actually
love that.
Yeah, we have a big scan today, actually. It's a 20-week scan. So we'll have to see the 3D image of the baby. And
I felt it kick for the first time yesterday as well, which is wild. And to your point, what you were saying earlier, Court, like for me, it hasn't really felt like anything's different because nothing has changed in my life or in my body or anything. It's just watching Amy and like, it's cool watching. A lesson I learned from our wedding is I didn't get involved in the wedding in terms of planning, but I loved watching Amy plan it and I wish I'd got involved. So now I look at this, I'm like, even though I'm not growing a baby, I'm still like, if Amy's pumped about it kicking, I'm going to get pumped about it kicking.
You mean nothing's sitting on your bladder or kicking the shit out of you from the inside yet? No. Oh, yeah. Enjoy the process then, Lachie.
It's amazing. It's been easy so far.
But yeah, I'm so glad he did get to feel a little kick yesterday. So because I only just started feeling kicks because I've got an anterior placenta. So that's like when the placenta's on the outside. So it kind of cushions the kicks and often people won't feel it
just you wait. Little Stuart Little, as you're calling, he or she will be kicking the shit out of you in no time flat. Okay, well, I'm very excited for you guys, but I want to educate listeners a little bit more because between your song and your beautiful way with words for both of you, and Lachie's insight and his vulnerability as a man, let's talk about a few things. So if somebody's listening, has a friend or family member walking through infertility, what are each of your top things that they should absolutely avoid saying at all costs?
I think it'll happen is something that, like, it's well-intentioned. I completely get that, but nothing in life's guaranteed. And when you say that to someone who's struggled, it's like, but what if it doesn't, then what? Like, and generally the person struggling is more negatively skewed on the experience than looking at it through the lens of optimism.
Oh my gosh, I think I've said that I got to stop that too. This is so good for me. Like, we always have perspective when we're going through something. I've been through a divorce, so I now know what not to say to somebody going through a divorce, but I haven't been through infertility. I've been through adoption. I am a white woman who has breastfed a black baby. I now know what not to say to a white woman breastfeeding a black baby. So it'll happen. Just a simple thing that where somebody's trying to be positive, and I know you know this. People are trying to be positive and they're trying to root for you. So, but that can be triggering. Amy, you would say the same thing?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. That would be my number one. Like when people are just like, "Oh, just relax and it'll happen," or like I said that before. And then also the jokes like, "Oh, you can have my kids if you want." Like, it's just the same.
Yeah.
You hear it over and over again.
Yeah.
I think everyone's different as well. There might be some people who do want that. And that's where, like, when you on the internet, you don't know what people are like or what they experience. But if you're with your friends, like, you could say, "Hey, do you mind if I like root for you and say, it'll happen, or would you prefer not?" Like, that's just how you build relationships in general. And if you've got good friends and support, they'll know the right thing to say. But yeah, for us, that was
It is hard to know what to say in those situations. And I think
Yeah.
the person experiencing infertility isn't looking for you to say anything. I think they just want your support and for you to listen and be there.
Well, that's
Or
interesting. Do you think the silence is painful, or is that better?
Silence is in
Somebody
them
not saying anything. Know you're
Oh.
struggling and then not saying anything or addressing it.
Well, they don't have to like say nothing, but they could just say, "I'm here for you." Like, how can I help? Like, what if I it just might be like, "Oh, you're going through your egg retrieval this week. Can I bring dinner?" Like, just simple things like that. Just knowing that your friends are there for you is all you need. You don't need like jokes or advice.
So maybe, people out there listening, maybe the right thing to do is a combination of all these things where you say, I'm not really sure what the right thing to say is right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about you.
How can I support you?
How can I support you? Can I bring you dinner? Can I make you dessert? Can I bring you 7 tubs of ice cream so you can eat away your pain?
Let's go and watch a movie and take your mind off things. Like, just,
I'll take the ice cream. Yeah, for me.
Okay, so Lachie, you have pushed your body to extremes, not to be technically compared to what your wife is about to do.
I made sure I haven't said that.
Don't help me.
Yeah, but what is harder, 58 marathons or 3 years of infertility?
Oh my God.
I reckon 3 years of infertility.
I'm just kidding you. I know it's 3 years of infertility, but I want to talk about your marathons right now because I want people to be able to follow you and follow your journey because I know you're going to have a lot to say about parenthood when this baby arrives and leading up to he or she's arrival. But Lachlan did the unthinkable. Might be a little insane. I'm not going to lie. But he ran 58 marathons in 58 days across all U.S. and Australian states. Is that the way to say it?
Yep.
And my husband, I think, ran a few of those miles, a handful of the miles with you. But he didn't just run 58 marathons in 58 days. I want people to, first of all, process that. He did it in basically the dead of winter. What were you thinking?
Why? Just why?
Why? Just why? Why make all of us feel bad? It's already crazy enough that you're doing this. You're pushing your. I can't even get to the gym today, and so explain yourself, young man.
I would love to give you a big wild story, but it was literally the gap in the calendar we had based off the things we knew we were doing, and I was like, winter. No, for me, any goal that I do has to be genuinely exciting, and to do 50 States Marathon Challenge, 2 people in history have done it in 50 days. And that's cool. I wanted to be part of that.
Yeah.
Went down the rabbit hole. No one had done it in winter. That excited me a lot more. So I was like, cool, this is starting to make me want to do it. And then we could raise a good amount of money for charity. That also got me excited. And then to bring Australia into it and to do something that no one had ever done and document mental health to me, because I knew the story that I could tie into running in winter represents what mental health is like for people when they feel low. It's like you're isolated, it's cold, you can't see a way out sometimes, but you got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I knew that we could showcase the polar opposite when we hit Australia where it was summer, and it was going to be like you're around all your supportive community, because in America, Nashville for me was like Brisbane, heaps of great people. Everywhere else didn't know anyone. So to showcase that was so exciting. Like for me, I look at what Amy's done in her career and I guess her North Star, what she's here to do and what I believe I'm here to do. And I've proven time and time again is I'm an athlete. I love putting myself through pressure and stress to show people what that's like and just tell that accurately, not just when it's done to be at the end and say, oh, this is what I did. It's like I wanted to show what it actually took.
You're Amy. I'm sure you got to agree with this. He's going to be a fantastic birth coach.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I mean,
I'm sure he will.
Let's be real.
If he's allowed to speak.
Yeah.
If he's allowed to speak, and you allow him to open his mouth in that delivery room or theater, as y'all are calling it, I feel like he'd be the right person to be like, you can do it. I know you can. Because one more breath. Though we did not push a watermelon out of his
God.
penis.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
Okay, Amy, how has this season of your life shaped you, your music, and your future career?
I think it's helped me realize that not everything goes to plan. Nothing is perfect, and you just have to roll with the punches. Like, I never had that exciting moment, but it doesn't matter now because we've got this beautiful baby growing, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and you've just got to hold on through the rough terrains, through the winter, and keep putting
through the shit stick of life.
Yeah, through the shit stick of life.
Everyone experiences a shit stick at some point, and you've just got to go through it to get to the other side.
I think to your point, like even Amy's family or your family is like super close and welcoming and inviting, and for me, it's given us a perspective of what is most important. For so long, it was like money and status and fame, which all have their places, but at the end of the day, for us, all we really care about is family, and like making sure we stay in contact with you guys while we're not in America, because it's the relationships that mean the most. And prior to having a baby, I would have still been just hustling nonstop.
Yeah. It will for sure change your perspective even then some. I mean, I can't say that for sure really, because I think everybody's different, but I know you guys so well, and your moral compass is so good that you're going to be fantastic parents. On that note, Lachie, what kind of mom do you think Amy will be?
Oh, the best. She's born to be a mom, like caring, selfless, inspiring, because of she's shown what it takes to like make sacrifices to live a great life, and she can say that she's done that. So I think our kid, boy or girl, will be like, what a woman. I'm pumped.
Yeah. Well, and they'll also celebrate her because you celebrate her. I think that's one of the greatest gifts that you can give to your kids, is, especially as a father, is to celebrate their mother. And I know that you're going to do that. Amy, what kind of dad do you think Lachie will be?
I think Lachie's going to be a great dad because he's going to be so present. I just know that he's going to be attentive and has that desire to be involved in every step of the way. So, you don't often get that. You often see dads like trying to get away and like, using work as an excuse, where I know that's just definitely not going to be Lachie. He's going to be active and he'll be the fun dad, and, I'll be I'd put my feet up kind of more. We're like, let's relax now. But yeah, Lachie will be great with getting them into sport and activities and getting them out of the house when I need a break.
Okay, well, where can everybody follow you?
Everyone can follow. We have different platforms, but we do have a one together as well. We have a little podcast when we're feeling like it. It's at Couple Goals, and you can follow some of our journey there together. But my Instagram page is at Amy Sheppard Pie,
and mine's Lachlan Stuart. And Lachlan's not a common name over there. I've had to, when I was living over there, I was going by Steve. So it's not Steve Stewart, it's Lachlan Stewart.
Okay, we're going to put all this in the show notes. But did you really go as Steve? No, you did not.
I did. When we would go coffee orders, I had to start changing my name to Steve, because we were even at Starbucks one day, and I'd always say Lachie, and they'd be like, what? And I was like, Lachlan. And then one day at Starbucks, the ladies like picked it up, and George, my brother-in-law, was standing with me, and we've just looked at them, and they're like, Leach. And I was like, it's done. And then we met another songwriter whose name was Lachlan. He's from Australia as well. And he's like, whenever I'm ordering things, I just give them Steve because it's easy.
Oh, that is actually really funny. I do have a Starbucks name. It's typically Sarah. I don't know why, because Kortney's not that hard. But I hate seeing my name spelled incorrectly, like with a C all the time. So I'm just like, it's Sarah. Guys, Amy, I am expecting a lullaby record out of you at some point. So hate to project this on you, but it better happen. I've
actually been thinking about doing that. It's funny that
no. Maybe I can sing backup someone's song.
That'd be nice.
And that way. I can say I also
cool.
did a record, a lullaby record. Guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much. Good luck at your ultrasound appointment today. I'll be thinking about you. I want pictures and videos via text. I'm going to be following along, and I will make it. Ryan and I will make it to Australia at some point in the next year to meet this baby. We cannot wait.
We I love miss you guys. We really do.
Miss you. We really, really, really miss you. I can't even tell you. It was a huge loss when you guys left Nashville, but we completely understand. But now we might have to relocate ourselves.
Hopefully, we'll be back.
We'd love to have you here.
Love you guys. Cheers.
Love you. See
Love
ya.
you.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Shit Stick of Life podcast. Please remember to like or subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. Much appreciated. See you next time.